It's Andrew Schatkin showtime, and I'm excited to welcome Andrew Schatkin. Andrew, Marxism, communism, this is what you want to talk about today.
Yes, we are going to talk about why I think, as an idea, communism, Marxism may have some truth. I'm not a communist. I'm not a Marxist. I'm an American. I believe in our free market economy. I'm not so sure it is a free. It is. That's the issue. I don't know if we have a free market economy. That's what I'm going to get into.
All right, so let's go and jump right to that topic in greater detail.
Okay, we ready?
Yeah.
Countdown.
We already did it. We're already talking.
Okay, fine. Ladies and gentlemen, you know I am used to controversy and to talking about and suggesting things that maybe some of your network people, mainline media people, maybe don't want to discuss. That's okay.
Right.
I believe in free thought and freedom of thought, and that is the thing. This country does endorse that theoretically. I'm not so sure it's true, to tell you the truth, but let's talk about Marxism. So let's see about Marxism isn't doing too well in the world today. There's two places where it's been implanted, North Korea and Cuba, and they have a terrible economic situation. So on a practical basis, Marxism doesn't seem to work too well. But capitalism has its problems.
Right.
That's my opinion in its present form. It's based on a free market and greed and competition. Now, I'm not so sure greed is a particularly wonderful thing to endorse.
Right.
As a Christian, I don't go along with it. I don't think Jesus was a materialist. He said the poor and poor in spirit were blessed. He was accused of associated with sinners, meaning undesirable people. So I'm not so sure I'm going to endorse greed and competition. But capitalism, you might say, Neil, theoretically provides an equal starting point. But I'm not so sure that's true anymore. Let me tell you why I think it isn't true, ladies and gentlemen. Jobs have been outsourced. The business sector in this country have gotten around the child labor laws and the laws that and the existence of unions.
Right.
And they have gotten us into a situation where all the manufacturing jobs, many of them are enslaved. Frankly, Neil, I don't want to be bald-faced, but it's true, which employ a kind of a slave labor group, whether in China or Mexico. They make those designer sneakers, which cost $100 in the United States, at 5 cents an hour. Okay, but the fact of the matter is this kind of outsourcing and elimination of unions has basically pushed Americans out of quality paying jobs. Those jobs do not exist here anymore. And we now have a situation where the Democratic Party, which is now in power, wants to bring in, at least they theoretically have endorsed bringing in illegal labor. And that's another way of pushing Americans who need work. People, Neil, people in this country, we all have to work. We all have to have an income. And when the society doesn't provide jobs that provide a valid income, there's a problem.
Right.
I mean, it's true, isn't it?
Exactly.
So we have a situation where there's no jobs, no pensions, no benefits, peanuts pay, and a situation where people can't get work, right?
Right.
Not really true.
Exactly.
Can people get work?
They can get work in certain things, but not the best jobs, the best quality jobs. You have to be
They
a
are very
professional trained.
low-paying jobs, cleaning offices, whatever you might be. And those jobs are okay. They're jobs. They're honest labor, but they don't support a family.
No.
They don't. And another factor which is bad in our capitalist society, is very bad, is the age discrimination. Look, Neil, ladies and gentlemen, let's look at the truth of how this system works. In the private sector, when you are past 40, you're out of work. You are out of the sync, how things work. That is a fact. Isn't it true, Neil?
It depends on the career. What are you talking about?
Do you believe that a person of 65 or 70 is getting a job?
No.
The pace? No.
Do
you believe that executives last beyond 40 or 45? Those white collar jobs?
Maybe 50.
50. And then what does that person do?
They have to retire early.
Yeah, well, suppose they don't have enough money. They've spent their paychecks on supporting themselves and their family. What are they going to do? Work
Yeah,
as janitors?
they're gonna have to start their own business.
Uh, Maybe, but that isn't so easy, is it?
No, so you're
Uh,
right. So there's
so let's
so
look at the reality of the capitalist system, which I as it has developed in the United States: low pay, no benefits, no real jobs that last
right.
at a
Yeah.
decent income.
Okay.
Okay. For the reasons I gave, outsourcing, and
Right.
particularly, I'm a big fan. I'm a fan of unions. I think they're good. I think Franklin Roosevelt allowed people to develop unions. There was great opposition from the oligarchs of that day, but he managed to push it through. And unions provided people entree into the middle class, right?
Right. Exactly.
So didn't they? So
Yes.
basically, Franklin Roosevelt, through his reforms, created a middle class. Do you believe there was a middle class before 1930?
No.
But you mentioned our rural poverty.
Yeah.
I
So
don't think there was a middle class before
no,
then.
no.
Not really. I don't. I think it was poor, a lot of poor people
Right.
struggling,
Right.
particularly in the South and Midwest.
Right.
Maybe not so much in the eastern cities, but in the South and Midwest, a lot of rural poverty,
Correct.
which he corrected. It was good. Now let's take a look at a solution. What do we live in a free market economy? I mean, realistically, Neil, do we live in a free market system? No.
No.
Wealth is where is the wealth? It's in the hands of maybe 1/10 of 1% of the population. They're doing fantastically well. Other people are doing fantastically terrible, right?
Right.
So where is this wealth? Where is it? Where can you find it? In the hands of about 2% of the population?
Yes.
How'd that happen?
I don't know. How did it?
Do you think it's good?
No.
Do
I mean,
you,
but what? So you're trying to say what would you do differently to try to do that?
okay, now the answer is that is why communism developed, because it addressed these concentration of wealth and unfair allocation of money and wealth in the societies of that day. And I say they had a point. They addressed a real issue. I wrote this book, ladies and gentlemen, Essays on Faith, Culture, Faith, Politics, Culture, and Philosophy. I talked about, was Marx right? Marxism does some tries. I'm not saying it works. It doesn't work. Does it work, Neil?
No.
On a practical basis?
No, not really. No.
It's been proved to be no good, but the idea behind it is good. For example, don't you think it's better that our society eliminate economic differences, big ones?
I don't know. I mean, it's competition's part of life. Working the hardest to become successful is part of life.
Yeah, but I just told you, let's face it, Neil, that's not possible. If you can't get quality paying jobs, you're not going to be able to earn a lot of money. You
True.
tell me how to do it.
No,
If
you're
we
right.
have a system where, what kind of system we really live? Do we really live in a capitalist system, free market system? Do we really?
Probably not.
Isn't it really an oligarchy and a plutocracy where a
Possibly.
few people got all the money?
Possibly.
We don't really live in a free market, do we?
So why would communism work?
Because communism is an attempt by its idea. I think it's a good idea. I don't think it works very well. It's been proven to be terrible.
No.
It's true. It doesn't provide economic incentive for people, and therefore there's no job growth in those countries
Right.
like North Korea and Cuba. There's no growth, right?
Right.
That's the issue of communism, no growth. But it does, the idea behind it is to eliminate class divisions. I think that's good. I think eliminating significant economic disparities is good if you can do it. Now, Marxism tries to do this. It provides kind of employment for people, not very good jobs. That's
Right.
proven.
Right.
People don't do so good in those societies.
Correct.
And it provides health care, doesn't
Right.
it?
Yes.
And it provides pensions.
Right.
But most of the jobs are not competitive. They're very low paying, and there's no growth. The person has no chance in the communist system to advance. Correct?
True. Well, for sure. Yes.
So that's the problem. It doesn't work. I agree with you, it doesn't work. But the idea behind it, there's a problem with capitalism today. Neil, I'm convinced of this. I don't think we live in a true free market. I don't think so.
Okay. All
We
right.
live in a situation where um, forces such as outsourcing and it's particularly bad elimination of unions. I think I believe that unions did enable people to move forward in their lives. If we don't have if we don't have controls, let me put it this way, Neil, if we don't have some kind of controls on business, what's the result? Don't they abuse their power?
Yes.
Just who's calling the shots in this country? The government, the people, or the business people, the capital, the top business, top corporations. They're the ones calling the shots, aren't they?
Yes.
So who's the real rulers in this country? Is it the government or is it the people? I don't think so.
Who is it? The
Does the
rich.
government do what the business people tell them to do?
Yes.
100%?
Mhm.
Well, so how do you explain this, that the government has let business put Americans out of work, outsource their jobs, eliminate unions? Why has the government let this happen?
Because they're making money.
Right. So these people, they have more power than the government.
Exactly. All right. So everyone needs to go. This is a great topic to think more about. Schatkinshow.com for more information. Check out all your different social media sites. And then next week on YouTube, we'll talk about.
We will, I'm not sure, but we will talk about whether we have a system which is geared to eliminate poverty.
All right.
I don't think so.
All
In
right.
fact, the factors I just said create poverty. They
All right.
push people down to the lowest level, lowest class level.
All right. Schatkinshow.com. Take care,
They
guys.
make them work at the worst jobs. All right.
Okay.
I hope you've enjoyed.